Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and I'm an attorney that assists dental associates with employment contract and independent contractor agreement issues. Today I'm going to talk about who pays tail insurance when a dentist leaves. So, you will have malpractice insurance as a dentist or a dental associate, and then in the contract, at least it should, state what type of policy that you either need to purchase yourself or that the practice is going to provide for you. And so it's not uncommon for a dental associate to have to pay for their own malpractice insurance. And then sometimes the contracts will state you must purchase, an occurrence-based policy, or you must purchase a claims-made policy with tail. And I'll explain those two different policies. So an occurrence policy simply means a policy has to be in effect when the malpractice event occurs, so when it happens, and no additional insurance is needed after the contract terminates. So you're covered forever. A claims-made policy means a policy has to be in effect when the claim is actually made, and so it's theoretically possible that you could, terminate your contract, leave a job, but for most states, it's a statute of limitations of a 2-year period for a malpractice claim. So you could leave a job and then get sued 2 years later. And so you need a policy that covers that gap in between when you leave and the last day you can be sued. And that's called tail insurance. And so just to be clear, occurrence policy, don't need tail. Claims made, you do. And then who pays for tail is purely contractual. It's going to be in your contract who's responsible for it. And most of the time in the dental industry, the dental associate is responsible for paying their own tail. So is this negotiable? Absolutely. There's no reason why you have to pay for it beyond the practice wanting you to pay for it. A dentist who's been out, let's just say 5 years, on average, probably somewhere around $3,000 to $3,500 annually to pay for their malpractice. An occurrence policy is generally about a third more expensive than a claims-made policy per year. And then tail insurance, once again, generally is about twice what your annual premium is. So if you had a claims-made policy that's $3,000 per year, you would just double that, and then that would be a good estimate of what your tail costs would be. This is not something you have to pay every year. It's a one-time payment. Generally, you have to secure it before your last day of employment, and then you'd pay the full $6,000 in that scenario, and then you're free to move on after that without having to worry about tail. So what are some strategies of getting the employer to pay tail if they don't want to? You could tie it to time served with the practice, meaning if you leave in the first year, you have to pay 100%. If you leave within the first to second year, they pay a third. You leave between the second and third year, they pay 66%, something like that. Tying the amount of time that you've been with the practice to how much the practice pays for you, I find is generally a palatable thing for a practice, because if you've been somewhere for 4 years, they've more than made up a $6,000 tail on you, and obviously they want to keep anyone that they bring in. It's tremendously expensive to recruit a new physician and get them credentialed and licensed and get them up to speed and all that kind of stuff. So agreeing to pay $6,000 for you to stay for 4 years is usually something most practices will go for. All right, that's a little bit about who pays tail insurance when a dentist leaves a practice. If you have any questions about your malpractice policy, employment agreement, independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact my law firm at the information listed below in the description. And I appreciate you watching the video. All right, thanks. Take care.